us. And I just want to publicly thank Teresa and Sue for working with the kids in camp and doing such a wonderful job for us that week. And yeah, bless you all. Come and share. If you have a word, come and share.
I'm going to share first, so it's done.
Go, Sue, go.
Because everybody has a different experience. And that's why I'm coming first, because my experience was a very quiet experience, much more quiet this year than in the past. I think the overlay of that was the thinking about Mia and Sean. We heard about Sean at the beginning of camp, that he was ill and had been diagnosed 2 weeks before camp, and before camp was over, he had already passed. And then I'd heard about Mia probably a week or 2 weeks before camp also. So there was that. Plus, because I work with the children, I don't get to hear any of the talks.
Aww.
And I'm hoping that I'll get those from Les and get to do that. But it was a quiet time, even though I had the kids from 9 to 13. And I had to be much more flexible with those kids because they were older, and it was like, okay, what's going to work with this group? And some things worked and some didn't, so we were able to pivot and just move on. And I think it was a good camp for all the kids also. And then this morning when I woke up, because you get somewhat disciplined at camp because the first bell rings at 6:30, and then we meet for meditation, prayer in the field. So this morning I woke up at 6:30 and did my quiet time, and then I was drawn to go outside. I didn't want to be in a building. I wanted to be outside. And it ended up being a prayer of gratefulness as I walked around our property. And then I saw my husband unloading the car from all of our stuff, and I thought, oh, I'm most grateful for Frank. But I'm grateful for our property. We did have burn on it, but we didn't lose our house. We lost a lot of trees and that sort of thing. But just being grateful for what we had. And I feel like that will be going forward with me, and in a quiet way, not in a rah-rah, which is what a lot of people will get, and I have in the past. So as with all journeys in life, you repeat the same thing, you go to the same place, but it's different every time. Thank you. Oh, and this, for those of you that don't know, this is a quiet prayer blessing symbol that we use at camp instead of applause. Because I know you guys really wanted to applaud for me.
And I'm Nancy, and I was on the prayer cover team from Santa Cruz. And so every day at 4, I'd lie on my sister's porch and pray for all of you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. We felt that. Huh? We felt
Yeah.
that.
Well, apparently we had some prayer coverage coming from England as well. And I was thinking of Nancy and praying and coverage from England. And Ian said it was the first camp that he's been able to sleep when he's talking.
Really well. Not just average. Great sleep.
Yeah, great sleep. And usually when he talks, or a lot of times at camp, he feels like he's doing this sort of prayer warfare, all night.
Oh,
And, just lifting the camp and lifting and lifting. And he slept. Of course, I had one night where I was praying, but it just felt very covered. So thank you. The prayers are definitely felt. And I know that, when you do service, there's this one book by Star Daly, I think. It's called The 4 Avenues to God. And one is through prayer, meditation, one is through service, and I forget what the other two are. I don't have the book anymore. But, gosh, when you do service, and, you know, Sue and Teresa did lots of service with those kids. It just expands you. And I was leading movement and creatives, and the creatives with the kids, and with Eleanor's sweet help, it was just really nice to have lots of people helping with the creatives. And we have a creative time where you kind of unburden your heart, you listen to God, and you just let whatever's in there to come out. Because sometimes we just don't have words for things that are inside of us. And we just let it out. I had one more thought about that. We came back tired, expanded, and blessed. And yeah, you come back, and we came back, and we are just so grateful for our home. It kind of feels like when we come back, it's like, oh, we have a home. We have a home. Right. Yeah. And it's so beautiful. And we're just so grateful. And actually, that's one of the things that I tried to do in Rhythms was, you know, we don't often thank God. You know, we taught in Israel, they sing and they danced in the old days and they praised God. Mm-hmm. David danced before the Lord, praising God. And gratitude is something that we don't really experience in American life. You know, we take things for granted, and we don't take it for granted. We don't take it for granted that we have a house. We don't take it. We're just very grateful, and we're grateful to God for the many, 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 many blessings that happened at camp and are happening in our lives all the time.
I think most of you know the backstory that we lost our house in the fire. That's why it's even richer now when we come home.
A bunch of years you didn't have a home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But our home's in heaven, right? Yeah. So, you know, this world is not our home. Somebody else.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Okay. On the blue line.
I don't know what to say. I started out with such concern because I was doing the little kids. I want to make a confession. I volunteered to do the junior high kids because I thought the junior high kids stayed in for the talks, so I can do the talks and then I'll have them in the afternoon, that'll be it. But that didn't work out, but that's okay. So what I would like to say is that, you know, when you serve, you're blessed. And I didn't feel at all like I was really serving. I was just being blessed every day by these children, a lot of them my own grandchildren, and some of them exasperating my grandchildren. But no, what it was, you guys, was the perspective of the little children. So I had little Waynona, who we called Nona, who was 2.5, up to AJ and Finn, who were 6, and it was just incredible just to watch those children and the observations. And at one point, that Nona said, you know, it reminded me of years ago when I was helping Dion with the little kids, and Gainer's littlest was walking along, and she said, "Look, Mama, Daddy, and baby waterfalls." And there was one big, and then a smaller one, and a smaller. And I don't know, as the days went on, I just felt more like in tune with them and more able to see, okay, I'm here, this is what I'm doing, and what can I do to inspire these kids? So I did a little poetry about trees, and I did a treasure hunt, which I loved, And I thought, boy, they're gonna have a hard time figuring out these clues, but they got it immediately. I don't know, it was really lovely. And what else do I wanna say? Oh, and then I just felt a little awkward at times because I was exhausted, and so I didn't really participate in a lot of rhythms or in a lot of creatives, but I watched a lot. And it was beautiful just to sit and watch, you know, the rhythms happening and observing, you know, King of Kings and Lords of Lords, or I don't know, Bim Bom, all those songs that we do. It was lovely just to watch, just to sit and watch. And so I still have to hear Ian's talks. I have them, Sue. I'll give them to you. But the further I am from it, which it's just been a few days, no, because the first day I felt like, okay, I did this and I won't do this again, but part of me is feeling like I can do this again, you know. And I was thinking, like I told earlier, I went to Sue before camp, okay, give me some ideas, and I was just a little nervous, you know, and then seeing Joan Harrington, thinking, Joan was the best teacher in the world, how could I possibly, you know. But anyway, I did what I did, and I felt a lot of love for those kids, and I just felt God blessing me through it. So there you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, now my husband's going.
Hi guys.
Hi.
And she had AJ, so my grandson. But I think that as the week went on, I think that even that group started to more pull into harmony and with each other, as opposed to everything just shooting off. And that's what camp does for everybody, really, no matter what you're doing. I've been, I don't know how many times now, I always come back energized, not tired. And do I sound tired? Maybe, but I'm not tired. Because I challenged myself physically and spiritually, and in my own way. And the physical part's important. I like to exhaust myself so that it's easier to pray. And that's just my, you know, what I do. But camp is a crucible, and you're in it. And 1 year, it was like Invasion of the Body Snatchers. People were just dropping like flies with this. What was it? And not the COVID. I mean, I'm talking 15 years ago.
Diarrhea.
And then it's just like all of a sudden they were just gone. You know, I was one of the last survivors. I never got it. But then we had washing stations, and we had hand wringing stations, and we had, that's what I called it. But it was everyone. But so challenges arise, but it's a crucible of love. At night, whatever you've been through, hearing, we sing, lamplighters, it's just, and so you don't even, so there's all your personal things, but yeah, it's the love of God, kingdom living, and it just fills you, and you can't, it's so really, if you're in a serving or if you're in a receiving, it doesn't matter. I loved doing the kitchen years ago. I loved serving the camp like that, and it became, tried to make it as artistic and fun, and it was less comfortable, right, in the way we were, but that wasn't, I wouldn't say that it was less wonderful, Adversity builds strength, and spiritual adversity also. So anyhow, I came back filled, inspirations, and I want to hold on to that, and and just keep on. And I'm great. Oh, by the way, we had a great speaker.
And yeah, I'll say a little bit about that. So we got to hear about Ann and Denby's personal life. We got to hear Ian's walk of faith and commitment on a daily basis, very moving. It's a beautiful love story. Beautiful love story.
You mean the one about the hippopotamus? Or?
And he exhorted the children, we're all children, right? Give your life to God.
Right.
Give your life to God. Don't fear. Make a commitment. Give your life to God. Intermixed with this story. It's just brilliantly told and executed. And to me, it's a Herculean task, Ian. But but he doesn't feel that way. So God bless you,
Thank you.
both of you guys. And so yeah, that was really special.
Wow.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, man. Anybody else want to share? Come on, Eleanor. We're so glad you made it home, Eleanor. I was a little worried about
called
you.
and said,
I didn't notice your message until you were in bed.
I did. I found more ants on the way home, so I got home kind of late. Yeah. Stopped at the rest stop in Dunnigan to plan my route, and instead there's like these ants, and they are having a ritualized war with each other. Ants have ritualized wars. If humans bothered to have war at all, they should do that. Anyways,
Not bad. Not
I
bad. Not
videoed
bad.
it. Anyways, but let's see. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I think I needed to be at camp this year. It felt like, I don't know. Oh, it came up very like shaken and confused and unsure emotionally, and just feeling like, wow, I really need to sit with God. And just, I had, the word that I had before I came with him, God, like, bring your questions and I will bring my peace. And I think it's very true, not that I had peace all the time. It was difficult emotionally because I was in a difficult space emotionally, but it was the best possible place to be in that space. And I've kind of felt like God brought me into this, like wrapped me up in this cocoon. Like I was all kind of like, yeah, I needed to be wrapped up in a cocoon. And that was because it is a spiritually safe place to be, because you're surrounded with prayer and surrounded with love. And there were times that I went off in the night time just like alone with God and cried, and he comforted me. And it was, and let's see. What else? And they were just...
well, our Eleanor is very articulate in their sharing about Ukraine.
Yeah, that's right.
And we
It's
discovered
beautiful,
some,
beautiful.
she's very organized with their chalks, and she led prayer group, and with a bunch of wrangling men.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was good. It was very beautiful. I remember when Debbie first asked me if I'd lead prayer group, and I was like, part of me, because, I'm in this, like, emotionally raw state, and I'm like, but I kind of wanted the option to just hide from you, God, and God's looking at me like, I got you now. You're going to lead prayer group, you can't hide from me. It was good. We spent lots of time in silence together, soaking in God's presence, and we all just were so nourished by that and shared really deeply with each other. It was very beautiful. I was nervous at the beginning. I'd never done that before, and again, like I say, it was like, well, but now I can't go hide from you, God, can I? And then there were just, a lot of blessings. Like I I loved getting to look for ants with the kids.
That was
They
beautiful too.
were so sweet. They're like, at some point, like Winona, Finn, Gwen and I were going around like looking for ants, because ants nest underneath rocks, and we're looking for ants under the rocks and looking at them together. And when I say, what kind are these? And sometimes I knew, and sometimes I didn't. And we saw the larvae, and we saw the winged ones and the different ants. So then the next camp, it was like the last morning of camp, and we're meeting before we go clean up, and immediately Winona runs to me like, hey, want to go look for ants? And at some point in the middle of like the morning singing, little Laura came up to me with an ant on a bar, piece of bark, to show me, and she's like, she was trying to climb up and I wanted to help her. So then anyway, it was very sweet.
Eleanor said that she wrote a letter from God to me, you know, because I love getting those letters.
Oh,
In any
that's
case,
sweet.
but Winona was sitting in her lap, poking holes in a piece of paper.
Telling me all about it. Oh, it was lovely. I loved getting to hang out with her. And yeah, and to experience what it was. Another thing about being up there when I was emotionally raw was, again, I don't know, I think that it's when I am like in those more difficult states that it's the most hard for my brain to realize that I'm loved. And so then it was like the first night, and I was literally having an emotional breakdown, and instead of like just running away on my own, I came up to the pavilion and sought people out, and I didn't even realize how like messed up I was. Like if I'd known, maybe I would have hidden, but I think it was, I don't know, there's something beautiful about actually seeing with my own eyes, being loved when I feel raw and vulnerable. Ian and Denby and Mary Beth all like gave me hugs and prayed with me, and yeah. So many blessings and much
Thank
beauty.
you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Can I share something?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, come on up.
Just to say
Michael.
hello to everybody. Hi.
Yeah, hey, welcome.
Hey, Paxton.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Paxton.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
I just wanted to share something that I learned recently. I came from a Presbyterian church in New York City, and I was going through Psalm 1, and I was thinking about this
Psalm,
with
yeah.
all of the kids.
Yeah.
So I'll read the first few verses here. It says, "Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. He shall be like a tree
That's right.
planted by the rivers of water, that brings forth its fruit in season, whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatever he does shall prosper." I was wondering about this when I was asking the pastor. I was like, why does it say, "Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers"? But instead, I would expect it to say, "Blessed is the man who does the opposite." Like, "Blessed is the man who walks in the counsel of the godly," or "Blessed is the man who sits in the seat of the righteous," or "the man who walks in the path of the godly." You know, that's like the opposite of the three things it gives. But instead it says, "But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and he meditates on it day and night." So there's kind of contrasting two things between like walking in the path of the ungodly, the path to sin, or the opposite is delighting. Rather than just like doing the right thing and walking in the right path. It says, his delight is in the law of the Lord, and he meditates on it day and night. And I was thinking about this the other week, and with your camp recently, I'm sure with a lot of the kids, you probably had some rules, right? Like there was probably some instructions, like you need to avoid something to be safe, or maybe there was a bedtime. Were there any rules, or like...
Don't light fires.
Don't light fires. Okay. So how did the kids respond to the rules usually?
You have to understand, Paxton, these are unique kids.
I think we're all unique. I think we're all unique. But did anyone have an experience where they shared a rule and then there was a reaction to the rule, or? How did kids generally respond to the rule?
Well, they were great, basically, I mean, stay on the paths. One
Don't pick
kind of went off
flowers.
the path and one kind of stomped on the wildflowers. We won't mention any names. So, but mostly they were great.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great to hear. I guess whether or not they had like a bad reaction, it sounds like the kids were really great and they didn't have like a really negative reaction to rules. But I think my point here is I was thinking like, imagine you give one of the rules like don't start fires or don't step on the wildflowers, you know, and the kids are like, oh, I just delight in those laws. They're just so wonderful. I can't stop thinking about it. Day and night. I'm thinking about not stepping on flowers. It's my favorite thing to think about, you know. That would be really odd, right? It's like, what is it? Why does it say delight on the law? I also think about like in Romans, it talks about how the law, it actually awakens sin in us. Similar to like, when you think of Adam and Eve in the garden, and he's like, don't eat of that one tree. You can do anything in the garden, but don't eat of that one tree. And you know how in a sense, Romans says, when you're told not to do something, it kind of awakens a desire, you know? I'm going to do it just because I'm told not to. You know, we've all had that experience. So I found this to be so odd, to delight in the laws, the things that kind of almost awaken you to do the opposite. But what the pastor was showing me is like, Christ said, I am the fulfillment of the law and the prophets. You know? In like Matthew, it says, people are saying things about me that I've come to abolish the law. The Pharisees, the teachers, they're like, this guy is throwing out the law because he's doing things that are different than the way we do them. And Jesus is like, I haven't come to abolish the law. I've come to fulfill the law. You know? And then in Luke 24, it says how this is after the resurrection, and the disciples they see Jesus after the resurrection. Everybody's looking for him. They find him, and they don't recognize him. And what he tells them is like, if you really understood the law and the prophets, you would understand me. It's all about me. And so what I realize is the delighting in the law of the Lord, it's really delighting in Christ, you know? It's delighting in Jesus. So it's like, that's what it means. There's a cross. For people on the video, there's a cross right behind us in the window. So I thought that was so cool. And I was thinking about it when you guys were sharing stories about the camp. So I appreciate you guys letting me share.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll have to sing that song.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Appreciate
going to
it.
sing, one of the themes of the camp was delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the